Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to yet another Destiny 2 Forsaken video, and today I'm going to be showing you the guide for the Last Wish raid encounter number 2, which is called the First Spire. I have to apologize in advance guys if my voice seems tired or if I'm slurring my words or anything along those lines, because this raid is seriously taking a toll on me both mentally and physically. It's very exhausting, I'm not gonna lie. I am at this raid now for about 10 hours. I've been going strong. You know, me and my fire team are sticking in there. We're really trying our best. And believe it or not, nobody has completed this raid yet, and it's already been 10 hours. So that should just give you a sense of how difficult this truly is. And the power level of some of these enemies, especially towards the ending of the raid, is through the roof. I mean, some of these enemies are just 580, 585 power. It's crazy, guys. So I really recommend, if you're going to jump into this raid, to find a fire team who's really gonna stick through this for a very long time. You're gonna need hours just for single encounters, and on top of that, you gotta be prepared to get salty and die a lot, because this thing is just relentless. There's no mercy in this raid whatsoever, and like I said, the ads are very high power levels. So let's start breaking down the First Spire. This is gonna be a tricky one because there's a lot of things going on at once, and essentially this entire encounter is a time trial. You have to get through this as quickly as possible, and you cannot let the time expire. And obviously the time is in the bottom left corner of your screen. It is a debuff or a buff, whatever you want to call it. It's called Shuro Chi's song. Now it starts you off at 4 minutes as soon as you enter the doorway, and essentially what you want to do is pop your supers as soon as you can and blaze through all of the ads. At the bottom of the screen, you may notice that there's going to be a bar for the boss, and it's like the health bar. Now, the bar, it's very important to note, it's split into 6 different sections. And the reason why it's split into so many different sections is because that's how many times you're going to have to DPS the boss and make your way up the spire in a rotational shape. Now, I should mention this because it's part of the lore, and it's actually very interesting. You're not really killing the techeun, you're actually freeing her from her techeun corruption. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's talk about the basics that your fire team should concern themselves with. So there's going to be 2 objects. Number 1 is the techeun essence, and number 2 is the prisms. Now, prisms may ring a bell because they are very similar to the pleasure gardens, the Callus one, of course. That specific raid, I don't know why I said Callus, but it's the Leviathan raid, pleasure gardens encounter. The prisms that you shoot, it's very similar. You know, they act the same way. You pick them up, you hold them in your hands, and you have unlimited ammo, and you get to shoot like a beam. Essentially, there's going to be 3 players who need to step onto the plates around the wizard or the techeun, and of course they're going to have to fire at each other with these prisms. You're going to see that in action here, but they're shaped in a triangle, and you're going to have to shoot each other in a triangle formation. As you can see here, I'm picking it up right now, the prism. I'm going to shoot at the guy to my right, and the person to my right shoots to his right, and that person shoots to their right. So you're shooting in a triangle at each other, and once you do that for a certain amount of time, the boss's shield will go down and you'll be free to damage. The second component, which is the second object that I talked about, the techeun essence, is something that each one of your fire team members will have to take turns picking up throughout the spire. So obviously there are 6 DPS phases. Each one of these phases, somebody different is going to have to pick this up. So you have to rely on every single one of your fire team members to really know what they're doing, and nobody can really slack off or get carried in this raid. Now, to give you a very brief and summarized version of this encounter, there's going to be 2 of these techeuns you have to deal damage to on each floor, followed by a puzzle. Once you complete the puzzle, you will have to climb up a floor, take out another 2 techeuns, then complete another puzzle, climb up a floor, and then take out 2 more techeuns. The catch? There is no checkpoint for any of these, so you have to do this all in one go, and I'll tell you guys, it is pretty damn hectic. So let's start off with a walkthrough. Go ahead and clean out all of the ads using a super as soon as you enter the doorway, and one person that already knows his designated role for picking up the techeun essence will go ahead and do just that. He'll go for the actual enemy who has a solar shield, he'll kill him, pick it up, and just be on standby. At the same time, you should have 3 designated people that are picking up the prism and shooting each other in a triangle formation so that you can unlock the boss's shield and do damage to him. Now, of course, while these 3 players are picking up the prism, the other person is on standby, and once enough damage is dealt to the boss and the left hand of the actual techeun goes up, that is when you want to slam using the super button, and that is going to flinch the boss at the perfect time so that you get maximum amount of time to do damage to the boss. Now it is important to note that the 3 people that are designated to do prisms will eventually have to pick up the techeun essence, which means you will have to have one player on standby who is the 4th designated player, and he will be the rotational piece for each and every one of those 3 players that are picking up the prism. Another thing that I can definitely recommend is that make sure all 3 of you who are standing on top of the plates and picking up the prisms be ready to jump on at the exact same time. Reason being is because the plates will actually do a little bit of damage to you, so make sure that you're not hopping on them once you're a one-shot, and make sure you're coordinating with each other and counting down 3, 2, 1, jump on. That way there's no confusion whatsoever. You all hop on, pick up the prisms, and shoot the person to your right, and that will unlock the actual boss's shields to do damage after about 3 seconds. At the same time, the person who has the techeun essence will actually be able to shoot the boss just by clicking the right trigger, and that'll shoot like a little beam. It's almost like a void cannon. It's actually very, very cool, I might add. So make sure to do damage to the boss once his shields are down, and then once you see him doing the animation where he's close to wiping you, his left hand will go up, and when his left hand goes up, that's when you want to go ahead, go right up to him and slam using the super button if you're the person with the techeun essence. So now that you guys know how to unlock his shields and how to extend the damage period of each of these little encounters against the techeun wizard, what you want to do is maximize the DPS now that you're on that specific phase. You have to do this stuff very quickly. There's a wipe mechanic here and you don't have forever to do damage. You can watch on the bottom of your screen to see his health bar and see how close you are to reaching the next threshold, which means you're done and the boss will be immune and teleport to the next location. You guys should pop either a Weapons of Light, you should have the Radiance Well, you should have Melting Point, you should have all sorts of stuff, but make sure to not pop a tether on the boss as it does not stack, and if you're using something like the Whisper of the Worm, you will not be able to land headshots as the tether got nerfed a while back. So make sure you're only using tethers for ads and to create orbs and not for the boss himself. Once you're done with 2 clears of the boss, you're actually going to get to this puzzle room. Now this may seem very confusing, but honestly it is not. You just have to have one person who's very vocal and who can call out exactly what to do, and everybody really has to be on the same page. There's going to be 3 icons inside of this puzzle room, the first of which is on the left hand side, the second is in the middle, and the third is on the right hand side. You're going to be going from left to right, so look at the first one as soon as you get inside the room. So as you can see, your goal is to make a complete picture. There's going to be 4 grid spaces that are empty, and your job is to step on the corresponding plates that are in the middle of the room. Well, it's pretty obvious if you just look at the picture itself which plates you have to step onto. It is the middle left one, the front middle, the front right, and of course the middle right. So those are the 4 that me and my fire team would step on. Of course, you want to call out which ones you're going to go for so that everyone, knows what they're doing, and you want to give everyone a countdown, 3 seconds, and then you hop on. If it is accepted, it will say the command is accepted. If it isn't correct, the actual plate will glow red and it'll basically start damaging you, and eventually once you fail enough, the timer will run out and you will get wiped. As you can see, the second one there, we actually did command accepted once again, and here is the third one, and it's the front middle, the back middle, the right middle, and also the left middle. So we hopped on and boom, just like that, it is accepted. Now it is very important to note, guys, that whenever you are done with the first painting or picture and you move to the second one, you have to realize that you're shifting your perspective of the plates that are on the ground. And what I mean by that is essentially if you're facing the left picture and it's telling you to go to the left back one, you would go to the left back one. But if you're looking at the middle picture after that and it's telling you to go to the left back one, that's not in the same spot as the first painting, because the actual perspective of you looking at the picture on the wall is different in correspondence to the plates on the ground. Hopefully that made sense. I think once you guys actually get into the raid itself and into that puzzle room, you'll understand that a lot more if you didn't from my explanation. So again, that is really the whole sequence. I explained the DPS part, I explained the puzzle parts, and in total there's going to be 6 DPS phases and 2 puzzle parts, and you have to do that all in one go, and there's no checkpoints in between any of that stuff. It's definitely a little overwhelming. That's why you have to have a strong team that is in there and everyone's sticking with each other and supporting each other. If you get mad at each other, then this is, gonna go south very quickly. Now, I do have a few tips that are going to help you out tremendously. There was actually a glitch that we noticed in this specific puzzle room, and you guys want to avoid this at all costs. Make sure when you're using a tether in this room that the tether does not go anywhere near the plates. If it does, you could be looking at one of the pictures and one of the actual plates that you tethered will not pop up on the picture, and it'll really screw things up. There's only going to be 3 voids instead of 4, and you will not know which plates to stand on. So make sure the tethers do not hit the plates when you're in the puzzle room. And that's really all I have in terms of the tips and the guide for this. Let me once again just quickly repeat the beginning all the way to the end. So you're going to start off on the first floor, and you're going to attack the techeun for 2 damage cycles on that first floor. Once you're done with that, you're going to go inside the puzzle room and complete the puzzle. Once you do that, you will have 4 minutes back on the clock. You'll have to climb all the way up to the 2nd floor and then repeat that exact same process. You're then going to take out the 3rd and 4th phase of her health. Then you're going to do a puzzle one more time, and that's, again, once you finish, going to give you 4 minutes back on the clock for once you go up to the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor, you're going to go ahead and take out the 5th and 6th phase of damage, and that is essentially going to kill the techeun, and that is it. No puzzle on the 3rd floor. So I'm going to leave you guys with the loot that I got. I honestly wish that I had the reactions of my fire team completing this specific part, because we were stuck on it for a few hours and it was really priceless. So we are all going nuts when we finished it, and we were super happy. I got myself a really nice drop as well, and so yeah, overall it was a great encounter. I'm absolutely in love with this one, but it is very difficult, so take your time with it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Subscribe for more daily Destiny 2 content. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you all later. Peace.